Hey Twinks, this is the Thought Topics Girls, calling on behalf of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. We're reaching out to let you know that your involvement in the following organizations has prevented us from removing you from our national watch list.
Swerfs for Trump.
Ariana Grande sympathizers.
Gay guys that wear Skechers.
Big titty dictators.
Anime avatars with no pronouns in their bio.
Probably poly.
Crisis bottoms.
Spread the word to end the word.
Outdoor gardening during a pandemic.
The Thought Topics Patreon.
Native Americans for Elizabeth Warren.
The Barefoot Contessa OnlyFans.
But your greatest crime
in this world that wishes to see you fail
is believing in two girls
with big old asses
and wetter dreams.
Spetsiva Twinks.
When I first came across Twink Revolution, I was like, what is this faggy shit? And then I quickly found out that, oh wow, these fags really know their stuff. Finding them was like a light at the end of the tunnel. They're actually having interesting, nuanced conversations about difficult topics, whereas everyone else in left media is just sucking dick, and not in the fun way. In all seriousness, every media outlet is blinkered and ideologically constrained, and their publication, as well as the pod, has produced some of the most needed conversations that have been shut out by institutional gatekeeping on the left. What they've been able to accomplish in a year is incredible, and I'm really proud of them. I can't wait to see them do even greater things. They even let me pilfer their audience for lesbians, and nobody else on the left is doing that. What can I say? They're my favorite fags. Love you guys.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Twink Revolution. I'm Sam.
And I'm Gian. And that was our friend Kelly.
Yeah.
Giving a little shout out for this, our very special 69th episode.
Yeah,
nice.
The end of season 1.
Yeah, and this is it's been a full year of podcasting. 69 proud episodes, and this episode is just going to be completely self-indulgent. This is us.
It's our decadence.
Yeah, this is us just celebrating us in our own very special way, and we've co-opted many of you to celebrate us with us.
Yeah, there's many little call-in stuff.
Yeah, you get to hear from
fans.
you, from our friends and fans. Quick plug before that for this Saturday at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/twinkrev. You can see the More Marxist Than You Can Handle live stream. And it's a lot of fun. You grab yourself a drink and come and hang out with seven of us or whatever. Way too many Marxists, more Marxists than you can handle, if you will. So anyway, be there. It'll be fun. But as we started putting this together, friend of the pod, Jason, who was a guest somewhere back along the way, I don't remember.
Thank you, Jason episode.
Yes, thank you, Jason, for calling into the show. I feel like Jason really set the tone of what it means to celebrate Twink Revolution. So let's hear what Jason had to say.
Hey Twinks, it's friend of the pod, Jason here. Podcasts don't actually have seasons, so I don't know what you mean by season finale. I guess it means you're going on vacation, but I also don't think podcasting is a real job, so I don't know what you mean by vacation. But the important thing is I'm happy for you, and I hope you have a fun, gay time doing whatever it is you're doing.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Podcasting isn't a job, to be clear.
No.
Although it feels like work sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a year. Does that feel crazy to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, although like 6 months of that was in quarantine, so
True.
which time has stood still. Mentally, I'm still in March.
Love it. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much it's changed from an intentional, like, I ever need shit post podcast to
Accidentally not.
Yeah.
Well, here I have a few of our early episode descriptions here somewhere. I'm just trying to find. God, this fucking document's unwieldy. So yeah, we were looking at things like what was our topics back in like episode 3. Was things like the tanning industry targeting the gay community, and predatory capitalism and gay community health. God, we were so self-serious about that, weren't we? And then there was that Saudi twink that got jailed for being too fucking gay on Instagram. I wonder what happened to him. I guess we'll never know. Aaron Schock going to a circuit party.
Yep.
That was great. And then this is, you know, as a sign of things to come. A sign of, you know, we there was a bunch of like serious analysis of the global austerity crisis in like Lebanon and Chile and Iraq and Catalonia and Bolivia and Ecuador. And I think the first time we shit on Extinction Rebellion was
I think
3.
so.
Yeah, it was good. And then a sign of things that would not last was our attempts to make our guests play an awkward game of Smash or Pass. And I think that fell away once we started having serious guests.
Yeah, we shouldn't save the games for when we're all slightly hammered and have to explain the rules to a person. The first one the second one was Amy.
And she did not get the game.
No, I think it's Australian.
There was a miscommunication anyway, and then it's Amy, so she like was never just gonna let us have this one.
No.
And yeah, it was a fucking disaster. And I think we just stopped doing it. And then we had Ashley Frawley on a little bit later, and we were like, should we do Smash or Pass? No, this guest is like far too serious and sort of intellectually rigorous, and she's a sociologist and academic. It just feels kind of not great.
Did that stop us from being hungover as shit during the interview? No.
God, I was so hungry.
I love going back through the names and like descriptions because I don't know, they're all kind of silly and stupid. And also we've done a lot of, I think our descriptions are gayer than the actual podcast.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
Like a lot of Britney references, some Ariana Grande references with Brexit Up With Your Girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. The one I was quite proud of, I don't know if you have a favorite title, but I always thought the one where we were discussing fraternity culture and sort of toxic masculinity and gay undertones to fraternities.
Yeah.
It was just called Kappa Kappa Kappa.
I love it.
Yeah, that was pretty good. We're clever fuckers.
Yeah.
And so humble.
So humble. I don't think I have a favorite.
We fell into a habit of just when we were like very drunk by the time we'd finished recording and we couldn't really come up with a clever name, we would just affix daddy to the end of it.
Yes.
So there's one which is like episode 9, Coo Me Daddy. And then I think like 2 episodes later, same thing. It's what is it? Oh God, I can't even find it now. There's several of them.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember. This is, so you can tell the prep we do.
We do so much prep.
Yeah. We're serious podcast. Oh my goodness. And then of course, for titles, the Iron ContraPoints Affair.
Yeah.
And the Iron ContraPoints Affair redo. So, pretty good.
I feel like the funniest part about doing episodes was once COVID happened and literally nothing was going on in the world. So we had nothing to talk about. So I had to make up shit. We did like a fucking movies episode. We review that movie. And then we started getting like within that same time period, like actual important people on the podcast. I mean, we've had Hallie Hawkins, and then we
what
had,
the fuck was up with that? Shahid Buttar.
and then we learned we're never doing political people again on the podcast.
No more politicians, never again.
We got Anna, half of the Red Scare.
Yep.
So we hit one of our goals.
Yeah, we had. I'm also happy. So I think our first big get was getting Amy on.
Yeah.
Back on episode 18 when we had like fuck all followers.
We were in like 10 listeners a day.
Something like that. Yeah, it wasn't much. And I was happy to have originated the If You Seek Amy title,
so good.
which everyone, the funny thing is now what happens is people try and make that joke on Twitter, and then people will just post and a link to that episode, which I'm pretty pleased about. Our impact.
Yeah, we're making a difference in the world, one gay at a time.
We have always been at Warren with East Asia. I think is one of those titles that missed. It was far too clever for its own good, but I think it's funny still.
Yeah.
What else we got in the call-in bag?
We have
Some of our serious guests.
We have Wendy, who wrote the book,
Abolish Silicon Valley.
Abolish Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah. Here. Let's hear what Wendy said.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Wendy. I am so glad I got to go on the pod before lockdown started because there just isn't a virtual substitute for being in the same room with a giant bottle of wine, chatting shit about the tech industry. Miss you guys. Let's do a socially distanced hangout soon and tell the tomato plants that I'm praying for them.
That is how you do a call-in, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Look at that. An invitation to hang out again. Apparently we weren't so horrible. And checking up on the most important part of the Twink Rev extended universe, the fucking tomato plants, which are doing very well. Thank you very much.
Really platforming the parts of society that matter, which is the tomatoes.
Yeah. No, I mean, having Wendy on was great.
Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah, Wendy's great. And if you haven't read Abolish Silicon Valley yet, then you still should. It still holds up. I guarantee it. We also had a dear friend of the pod, Caleb Maupin.
Twice.
Yeah, been on twice, and who's absolutely great, and may be discussed again during our haters. When we come to the haters. But, but we kind of colored Caleb after our last recording with him to do a little thing. So let's see what he said.
Well, it's very exciting. The Twink Rev has been around for an entire year, challenging the status quo and bringing a fun sparkle to leftist circles.
Fun sparkle. It's a bit of a euphemism, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think he just called us faggots.
He called us fairies. No, I'm just kidding.
A pixie.
That's going to be cut out by like the losers in BreadTube, and like he called them sparkles.
Yeah, this is homophobia. Well, that's very sweet.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
No, thank you all. It's really
Yeah.
This is, as I say, we're just celebrating us here, people. This is us just bathing in our own self-indulgent, self-congratulatory bullshit.
It's the gluttony.
But it's our fucking podcast, so what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You know where the stop button is, motherfucker.
So we covered a lot of problematic topics on the podcast, have we not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we flirted with controversy many times, mostly unintentionally. I feel like it's never the stuff I expect.
But also always like the drama for people we have on emerges like right before they're like actually on the podcast because we've already scheduled them. Caleb's an example where BreadTube decided to do their like massive campaign the week before, and I'm like 2 weeks of just like endless like getting slammed for having like bad people on the podcast.
Yes. And then Anna had a spicy tweet just before coming on. Esperanza had published her letter.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we catch the backscatter a lot.
Yeah, we get the baddies.
Yeah.
Are we the baddies?
Are we the baddies? But somebody who actually does not court controversy, I must say, despite, being plenty sharp, is dear sweet Australian boy Tom Ballard.
Yeah, do you want to play his clip?
I'm gonna see what Tom said.
You gonna do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Twink Revolution. It's me, Tom Ballard, the most famous person in Australia. Congratulations on a year and 69 episodes. Nice. You're both very smart, very Marxist, and very gay. I'm not gay. I'm like Roy Cohen. I'm very successful. I love you both, and thanks, and keep podcasting no matter what. Bye.
Oh, see, such a sweetie.
I mean, he is the most famous person in Australia.
Yes, to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to be told any otherwise, really.
I mean, I don't know any famous Australians who stayed in the country besides Tom and like Amy.
Yeah. Well, we have had some good guests.
Yes. We got some guests. Also, Didn't Tom listen to the podcast before we had him on or something like that?
Yeah, we had an awkward conversation where like his blue check mark motherfucking giant Twitter account followed the Twink Rev account, and then followed when I made a separate Twitter just for me.
Yeah.
He followed that, and I was like, wait a minute, this is not just a bot following like auto some sort of auto following shit.
Yeah.
And I DM'd or like replied something and fanboyed at him, and he was like, oh, I love the pod.
But an Australian, of course.
Yeah.
Was that your Australian?
That was my Australian.
Oh, okay.
That was my best Tom Ballard impression. oh, hey guys. I can't really do that accent. He has a very, very kind of mild. His career in broadcasting has softened his Australianism.
That's true.
Yeah. We did get a nice, sweet little message from the first guest on the pod as well.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, David, one thin line was our very first guest, our buddy here in San Francisco, and he gave us this message.
Hello, Twinks. I just wanted to let you know that as your first ever guest and still emissary from the non-Twink world, I wanted to let you know that I have been watching and listening with great interest as your project grows, although certainly not in body mass, and it reaches an entirely new audience, both within and without the limited world of pseudo-anorexic alopecia sufferers in the gay community. While I will never, ever apologize for the bazillion people killed by communism and its ill-advised goal of providing such evils as universal health care, education, mass industrialization, electrification, the protection of the working class against imperial interests, nationalization of economies along democratic and worker-focused lines. It's terrifying to even say these words out loud, I have to say. I mean, it's the equivalent to the greatest evils in history to lift so many people out of poverty in that way. In any degree, it's about what I would expect from some low body mass, dolphin-like, degenerate homosexuals such as yourselves, and nevertheless, I find myself thinking of you all with affection. Call it one of my quirks, or a sort of dialectic within myself, that I hold these contradictory views simultaneously. In any case, from just down the street here in San Francisco, best wishes from David, and happy, nicest episode of all.
Aw, that's sweet. Yeah, so David was back on episode 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was 3. I looked it up.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we really committed from the get-go to not just have Twinks on the podcast.
Yeah, representation matters.
Yeah.
So, I was, thinking back over the last year, and the thing that looms the largest is clearly like a bunch of shit happened. Coronavirus pandemic started.
Yeah.
And our last episode before that was episode 25, which was a Q&A episode called Open Borders and Open Bottoms.
Yes, because you were gone that week.
We pre-recorded it the week earlier, and then we went to Mexico.
Yeah.
And came back, and like everything locked the fuck down. Shit got real very fast.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we got a lot of questions during that. I have some of them here. None of which were about, hey, should we maybe do something about this strange virus that's starting to percolate through the Pacific Northwest?
Yes.
So fuck all of you. You really snoozed on this one, people. If you had asked, we would have told you the answer. We would have had a correct take on that. But
yeah, and so we talked about, what did we talk about, Gian?
Well, so there was questions. This is getting back to our shit posting roots. There were important questions like, were you disappointed that hashtag dicks out for Bernie never happened? Is Mayor Peter Buttigieg more of an asset or a liability? Oh, yeah. What else we got here? What do you all do to step back from the daily chaos and release your anxiety? Well, I mean, I think we can answer that again. We unleash a global pandemic. I feel better about it.
We also hate talk. That's for like half the podcast. It's like we're known for just hating on shit.
Well, there's a good wait. Let me see if I can find the review. One of our very earliest reviews on Apple
it's so
Podcast is
good.
one of my faves.
Yeah.
Because it really there was two in a row.
It was one of our first reviews on iTunes, right?
Yeah, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody December. This is December 2019. Wow. Somebody with a username Butt Judge posted a review titled "Noxious," 1 star. We've reached peak negativity. The cynicism is so thick you could cut it with a knife. It's like The Daily if Michael Barbaro, I don't know how you say his name, never had any guests on his show or ever read a book. Insightful political commentary like Chasten Buttigieg is very unattractive. Fantastic. And then
First alive.
true. Yeah, my absolutely good review.
I stand by my statement.
Yeah, and then on December 4th, so that was December 8th, actually 4 days early on December 4th, Antonis's daddy gave a 1-star review titled Beavis and Butt Munch.
Oh.
Really nasty commentary from some cosplaying socialists who think being snarky will bring the revolution. Well, not being snarky hasn't brought it on, has it? So maybe you need to try this. You know, ever thought about that?
Now, we've had a lot of hatreds for certain individuals and groups emerge over the year, have we not? I mean, Extinction Rebellion, it's been a hot one.
Oh, we got so many haters. Randy Rainbow.
Oh,
Actually, that was the last straw for another reviewer.
Yes, it was.
So here, sorry, let me find it here. Sihalar, something like, I don't know how you say that one, gave a 1-star review on August 19th, 2020. So just, a month ago. Titled, Research Would Help. Picked up the podcast and I was listening to an ep with Tom Ballard. His podcast is great, very insightful, but had to delete. Very strong opinions are fine and I'll listen, but not when clearly prefaced with a haven't bothered to look into background/historical context attitude. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a joke that I'm not getting, but it just gets irritating. I'm not a, quote, Randy Rainbow, end quote, fan at all, but he does spoofs of old musicals? Research, please, then get upset and go on a tirade.
I'm sorry, you really like Randy Rainbow.
Yeah, the Randy Rainbow is the hill this person is dying on. I love that for you. And we will never do research. Thank you very much.
What the fuck is research?
If you want informed opinions, you're in the wrong place. This is fire from the hip.
This podcast is our excuse to develop an alcoholism habit and pretend it's for good content.
Right, it's part of our creative process is just getting very, very drunk, belligerently drunk in the afternoon and then shouting about Randy Rainbow into a microphone.
If you've seen some of our live streams, you are quite aware of what we're talking about.
You know what this is.
There's just magically more bottles and cans emerging. It's like... I'm surprised we haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, let's do shots on.
I feel like it would be unnecessary. Just we're it's really my liver is suffering from this podcast. Honestly,
We've had another fun newer hatred. Val, we actually had a really good call in. Do you want to put that one on?
Oh hell yeah. Sorry, let me find it here.
Hi Sam and Gian. I really appreciate when you guys shit on Vosh on Twitter and on the podcast. Really greatly appreciate that. I hate that guy so much. And you guys, whenever you make fun of him, it just really improves my day. So keep doing that. Yeah, bye.
You heard it here first. Twink Rub is self-care.
What's your best Vosh dunk?
I try not to think about him because he just makes you want to like blow my brains out after the whole Tacoma wept thing. Like just that picture of him like
him
almost naked
yeah.
and it's like, honey, I've never wanted to see this again. Like,
well, I mean, no, I think I do think the tide is turning a little on Vosh and the likes of him.
I think BreadTube's already kind of falling apart.
Right. I think it's imploding very quickly, and I think some of the friend of the pod Peter Coffin was getting a lot of hate from the likes of Vosh. Friend of the pod Caleb Maupin was getting a lot of hate from the likes of Vosh, And yet, who remains? Who remains credible and did not release a statement saying Tacoma wept when I got off Tinder? So, I'm always happy to dunk on Vaush. I think he is one of the most insipid people ever. And that includes us and our whole bit of not doing research and dunking on Randy Rainbow.
I mean, it's kind of like, what was that podcast or that YouTube channel we went on? And we're invited as guests, and then they're like surprised.
Suck My Opinion or whatever.
Yeah, where they surprised us saying it was like, oh, actually
it's
I have
debate.
beef with you, and this is a debate. And
Like, well, we've never heard of you.
we
but
didn't
Thanks.
we didn't prep at all, and he gave us the last word and then just quickly ended it. It was like, I don't think BreadTube's ready for like the rising tide of like gays on podcasting world. Like, my theory is in 2016 Bernie land, the podcast internet sphere was like mostly like neckbeard bros.
Yeah.
And now it's like they're all kind of falling apart or becoming like Brad Lib stations or just being revealed for that. And now it's like the women and the gays are kind of coming for them all.
We
And
shall rise again.
they're just not capable of like the sass and for one, having like a proper haircut and wearing proper fitting clothes.
Well, so certainly, I mean, the thing, the kind of mean, bitchy, backstabbing thing that the sort of the BreadTube community thrives upon, the sort of just like
Yeah.
chud dunking on one side and then doing a bit of sort of backbiting, bitchy shit about other BreadTubers.
Yeah.
I mean, they are merely tourists in this world. We the gays were born into this.
We are born to hell.
Because we know, like this is our world. You
Yeah.
just live in it. So yeah, I it's been a delight to just see all of that falling apart, and I think we can look forward to more content from Vaush where he continues to embarrass himself in ways, and then be like, "Ha, I was just actually joking," and my dude, you don't really know, my dude, you don't even get the joke.
Yeah.
My dude, I was actually joking, my dude.
It's so sad.
There are two things I'm good at. It's polyamory, was it non-monogamy and public speaking. Do some fucking research.
Yeah, public
My
speaking
dude.
for 20 minutes and you're a fascist, you're a fascist.
You're a fascist, my dude. Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, well actually, God, it's just the rapid fire delivery is horrible. Take a fucking breath, you weirdo. Anyway, so that's
I feel like Twitter world has built up the tolerance for like the stupidness of the mass, like of these online like personas. I mean, the gays come for you. You build up a tolerance to all the other plebes who try to come for you. It's like,
it's true. You always just wish there was just a better kind of hater. Honestly, I've got to say, I just disappointed in general the quality of the haters.
I tweeted recently. I was like, can someone at least like mildly attractive like hate on me for my appearance? Because both the left and the right love to be like, this person looks like a 12-year-old, and they have giant ears.
You have big ears.
And I'm like, yeah, but for one, either all of you are behind like anime or like Garfield like pictures, or like look like you live in your mom's basement and haven't shaved in like a few months. Yeah.
No.
They don't know what showers are.
We have attracted a certain kind of brand of hater. It's been exciting for us.
But we also brought the masses of lovers, which are the best podcast.
Oh yeah,
listeners.
yeah. No, it's funny that how quickly the haters just sort of blur into a just a cacophony of nothingness. It's banal and it's kind of formless, and it's the thing. Like most of it's just this kind of low level like, no, I have to say something here because I can't. It's like what? Why? Like what the fuck do you got to say? But I got to say, for all my wishes for a better brand of hater, Zach from I'm So Popular gave us a really special brand of hate.
Yeah.
Konbanwa, it's Zach Langley Chichi from I'm So Popular, and I just had to ask myself, what does Twink Revolution mean to me? and it means getting fucking obliterated on a Zoom call at 4:30 p.m. on a Sunday from Gian and Sam so that I drink half a bottle of sake and am so hungover for work the next day that I can barely function. So fuck this show. Fuck your grit. Fuck you, class reductionist white twink. Just kidding, divas. Thank you so much for what I can only describe as an incredibly impactful year of podcasting. I will never be able to truly articulate how influential this show has been in paving the ways for idiots like me to have a voice to talk about nothing at all. So thanks for that. So to the only Marxist twinks wider than me but not as skinny, congratulations. Omedetou gozaimasu. Don't fuck it up, girls, in year 2. All right. Woo.
Oh, thanks, Zach. Yeah, go check out Zach Langley Chi on I'm So Popular.
There's an
It's
episode
great.
of us as well.
Yeah, we were guests on there. I feel like a lot of the weirdest hate we got was for the guests we've had on. Because we've had Amy Therese on 3 times.
Yeah, I love the laundry list of hate names that we get. Either like one week we're like, your nuts balls, or now your tankies, or your swerfs, or your turfs, or
the Nazi twinks.
Your class reductionist rich Nazi twinks in California.
Yeah. I like I think it was actually Zach Langley Chi who said he got a bunch of hate for having us on. Which is funny because it used to be the fact that we just got hate, like we had Peter Coffin on and got a bunch of shit for that. We had Amy on, got a bunch of shit for that. Had Caleb on, got a bunch of shit for that.
Esperanza,
Esperanza got a lot of. Well, Anna was the one which brought us both many new listeners, many dear new listeners from the Red Scare universe, but also just a weird brand of hater.
Yes.
Obsessive podcast haters.
It makes me kind of happy.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I mean, Anna is a darling and a dear. But we also got this. It's actually a video of Michael from New York sent us a video of his garden, which, if you know the way to my heart, but sent us this little message.
Hey Twinkers, this is Michael from New York, and I don't have a face for radio. Sorry, I don't have a face for video. I have a face for radio. So I'm going to video my garden and just let y'all know that
it's a good garden.
I very much appreciate the show. It's fantastic, and was introduced to it thanks to Anna Hachian from the Red Scare. So you guys have been a new collection, a new addition to my podcast library that's getting me through not just COVID 90210, but humanity in general. So keep it up, lads, and have a great second year. Ciao.
Oh, thank you. And also, yeah, good garden, really.
Yeah,
love it. Just show me your gardens, folks. Dick pics are out in 2020, but just show me that garden.
Yeah, show your plant whores.
show me your plant whore.
Yeah. I have so many haters. It's kind of like, I feel like over time you just kind of don't think about it anymore. And when we see new people, when their haters come to it, they're like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." And we're like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Like,
this is not. Yeah. It's not a thing.
It's, to me, it's refreshing, the changes of cycles. It's like 1 week we're being screamed at for having a guest who's not pro-prostitution, or the next week we're being screamed at because we had a person say China isn't a fascist state, or
yeah, it's just, it changes with the seasons. It's great.
You have too many Lebanese problematic Assadists on. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, of course. Mila picks up her haters.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't think we ever really set out to court any controversy. It was not like,
no,
it was never really meant to be very spicy. It was kind of gay shit posty. I sort of accidentally did political content that turns out you're just going to attract a weird bunch of people.
Yeah, I never thought that one day there'd be accounts where they just endlessly go through your post and want to share them, like, they had all of these problematic guests on, and it's like,
yeah, screenshots. Oh fuck! No, don't screenshot me. I mean, we're just out here. We're lovers. We're not fighters.
Yeah, we're twins. We're not fighters. These bones are brittle.
Yeah.
and I'm vegan.
He's
so,
vegan.
Like,
He's calcium
brittle.
deficiency or something.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, like, what do you think the most controversial episode we did before, like, the non-guest one? I'm trying to like remember what was.
That's a really good question. I think I got the most hate from. It might have been the Zizek one where we talked about the like gender and like economics.
Oh,
and I made the like
yeah.
comment about.
You made an offhand comment.
Yeah, and then I got a bunch.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't. It wasn't you. It's always me.
Yeah.
But I got a ton of messages like, "Oh, be careful! Like, you're edging towards talking like a turf," and I'm like, okay, I didn't mean it that way. But it was like the first time I got a bunch of warnings like, oh, be careful.
Nice podcast you have there. Be ashamed if something happened to it.
Yeah. Brain a bitch. I'm just kidding. Love it.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling through titles now. I'm just sort of dissociating.
Yeah, the titles are good.
Gay Siskel and Gay Ebert. That one's another one which is just lost on most people, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
TFW No Strasserism.
Oh, that was actually a big one too.
That was with Mike Sinistral Lean.
But it's because I talked about incels and made a joke that they should just become gay to get laid.
Yeah.
And then I realized like how mean like online libs are compared to like the right wing, because the right wing's not very good at, upsetting me. And instead it's more like complete comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of them. I'm trying to think of like any of the early ones which were like at all controversial. I think we got some basically the problem is that
when we were talking about Pete Buttigieg, we got a lot of hate.
there's a lot of hate for hating on Pete Buttigieg, but I think that's because the early messaging of the pod was a lot gayer.
It was also
and less overtly like
Marxist.
We kind of branded it as sort of like haha homo leftism, which brought in a lot of sort of like Democrat Party whatever people.
Well, I think when we started, I wasn't even a Marxist at that point. Still, I was like almost there.
You were teetering, I think.
I was like on the edges of my ANCOM phase,
Gross.
communist phase, and
gross.
I think by like episode like 4 or 5, I kind of like was already over it because I was already on the way out. And then that's where things went downhill. It's where we got questions like, "What is your view on China? And what do you think about the Holodomor?" And it's like, I don't care. Like, leave me alone.
Oh yeah.
Go to Somali and go shut the fuck up.
And I feel like there's some sort of like safe topics very much. And you'll see every time we sort of retreat back to them.
Yeah.
It's like movies or dunking on the Queer Eye guys.
Oh, so good.
See, that's just always like that never garners any pushback whatsoever.
No, it gets so much love. Actually, it's when we launched the magazine online, which thanks to COVID we were able to do. People just consistently post the Twink Rev article on Queer Eye whenever anyone posts Jacobins. Or is it Current Affairs?
No, it's Jacobin.
Jacobin. It just brings me the most joy in the world.
It is good. Remember, anytime anybody mentions that Jacobin Queer Eye article, you should just paste that link to the Sam's what is it? Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Not So Fabulous or whatever. The other kind of bright spot for me was the dramatic reading of the erotic Halloween story.
Oh yeah.
Like another format bit that didn't really work at all. It was just a complete mess. But I still get love for that. It's funny. People still recall that one fondly.
That's good.
On the spooky slutty skeletons Halloween episode.
That's a good title. Also,
it was a good title.
Do you get love still for your Greta Thunberg impersonation?
No. Never. No, the South African accent occasionally gets compliments.
Yeah. Your Greta Thunberg impersonation is bomb. I feel like you and
somebody was upset that I think I chose the wrong car because I said getting finger banged in the back of a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Not say like a Volvo or something, but the joke was kind of that let me explain a joke, folks. Kick back. The joke was that it's like she was sort of like a suburbanite American teenager. That's what was funny about it.
Yeah. Well, you thought of it while we were in Vegas. You're like,
I don't know why. I spent an entire trip.
It was the funniest thing.
The weekend I just kept doing Greta. I couldn't stop. It'd all be like, could you get me another drink from the bar, please? I do not know. No, please do not give me a straw. I do not want a straw because a straw is what is killing the planet.
I saw the funniest tweet yesterday, and it was, Greta Thunberg posted a picture of her on a boat, and it says Lisbon, like Portugal, and someone was like, "I'm really proud of you for joining the family," and in the pride flag.
I'm a Lisbon. Well, good. Yeah,
I love it.
We did. We'd have had good times.
Yeah,
haven't we?
but beyond all the lame haters, we've made a lot of friends.
It's true.
And a lot of following. I think it's more than I ever thought we would have.
Oh, it's crazy. I'm always just kind of terrified by it.
Yeah.
It's the idea that us just sort of drinking and mumbling into microphones.
I think we're like 89 different countries have listened to us.
Yeah, no, and I think we just crossed a tens of thousands, another tens of thousands of downloads and shit barrier there, which is always gives me a little thrill.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for North Korea to listen to us.
Yeah, somebody starts smuggling those. Did you see the thing? It's like the USB stick stations where you can donate USB sticks to get smuggled into North Korea. Yeah, if somebody put some fucking Twink Rev on there.
Have you seen the board? It's like little faces of like Kim.
Yeah, I saw that. So yeah, somebody find one of those and put the Twink Revolution back catalog on and get it into North Korea.
Help us get Kim Yo-jong on the sister. Yeah. The gay icon.
Yeah, we stand a queen.
Yeah.
We had so many good guests as well. Oliver Bateman was on. Ashley Frawley.
Glenn Greenwald.
We stand. Jesus Christ, Glenn. That was, what a get.
I know, such a get. Thanks, River.
Yeah. good guy, River Page.
You do the work and we
just reap the benefits.
Yeah. We're just greedy. Nom.
So we're exploiting River's ex.
For the haters. When River got his first hate campaign, everyone was trying to report him to us as if we're his boss.
It was so funny. They're calling his manager us, the worst people you could possibly call in this situation.
We're off. For one, we're not bosses, but also
and we're awful.
We're awful.
Oh God.
People were like, "I am so offended you said this."
People sending the tweets being like, one of your employees is making problematic statements online. It's like, this is A, not my employee, and B, who the fuck are you? Go away.
Why do you think he was chosen for complacent statements like Vouch? I'm voting for Biden 2020.
I'm an anarcho-Bidenist. No, that's the thing is, you got to give people room to be spicy on their own, and that's the thing is I feel like one of the funny things I didn't expect about doing any of this was the guilt by association thing. It's actually kind of the only thing that bothers me. Yeah. I'm happy to be hung out to dry and dragged for things I say. If I said it.
Have you been dragged for something you've said?
Minorly, but no, generally not, because I'm very, very measured in what I say.
Wow. I'm
careful about what I say.
He's calling me out, folks, for all my problematic tweets.
No, but the funny thing is there's this fucking culture of proximity. Yeah. It's literally like I can't get to the person who said the bad thing, who had the bad thought. So instead, let me just sort of go after anybody in general proximity of it. And it just shits me. I just think it's dumb. Yeah. It's it doesn't actually really bother me per se. And I'll stand up with my friends, but the idea that people expect you to defend everything anybody else has ever said just because you've talked to them once or whatever. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's the funniest kind of primarily the Amy example, as people just would endlessly on live streams and stuff. You're like, what are your thoughts on this? And we're like, I don't know, ask her.
Ask her?
This is our podcast, not a fangirl podcast. Like,
yeah, this is not. Yeah, I mean, even it's funny when we had noted journalist Glenn Greenwald on the podcast. There was people who were giving us shit because Glenn hadn't tweeted anything about Kenosha or something at that point.
Like the day it happened.
Yeah, the day it happened or something. It was like one of these like bizarre things of like, why are you yelling at us about something that somebody else has not tweeted? Like, fuck off. I'm sorry. I don't have any leverage over this person. He did us a giant favor by coming on our little tin pot podcast. And then there's people yelling at us for like the fact that he hasn't tweeted something. I'm like, oh my, what is this? What world is this? Anyway, but we have made a bunch of lovely friends.
Yeah. We've had some fun hate videos as well. We had our first like hate video on YouTube after we had Caleb on the first time, and they were mad at Caleb for coming on our podcast because our image is like neon blue and pink.
It was too gay. It has Twink in the name, which is a pedophile signifier.
Yeah, they
apparently.
keep saying that.
Yeah.
But they literally they're desecrating images of these communists. And for their profile pic, they use our icon, which is young Nikolai Ceausescu with a noose around his neck.
Yeah, they superimposed a shitty noose over our Twink Rev icon. That was like slightly ominous.
It's also like hilarious because they think we're desecrating it when like you're putting a noose around a man who was executed by
hanging, I believe, wasn't he? Or was he?
They were shot.
Oh, well. You actually know what our most viewed video on YouTube is? Because all our episodes go up to YouTube and it's just like automatic. But you know what it is?
No.
It's episode 30. It's Comrade Britney, bitch.
Oh, it was like the thing that was going around viral.
Right. It was going the Comrade Britney thing was going viral. And I think people thought it was something it perhaps wasn't. But
yeah.
Anyway, that got a shitload of views. I don't know why.
I love it.
Anything that had Corona in the title.
Did it do good or bad?
No, it did bad. It's because it got like deranked and shit. You can't put anything about the Rona on Facebook these days.
This is censorship.
Yeah.
And this is fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of other people who we've made friends with in the online world, the parasocial world. Did you want to play a few of them?
Yeah. Let me cue those up.
Cool.
You all know who you are. I'm not going to dox anybody just because I don't know the degree to which. If people don't say their names in their recording, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But you know who you are, and we love you all.
You know your.
Hey guys, congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. Love the show. You guys are truly a source of entertainment and enlightenment in a pejoratively gay world. And looking forward to the next season.
I do love that people are starting to use the phrase pejoratively gay. It's a favorite of mine.
Yeah.
This one's from Down Under.
Hi, Twink Rev. Thank you for keeping me company and keeping me sane, and also making sure I am politically aware and not totally disillusioned during this hell time. Love you.
Oh, we love you too.
No.
Hey, my beautiful, handsome twinks. This is your twink ally, Kurt Ramos, at WEYESSMIZE on Twitter. And I just wanted to say happy birthday to the podcast. You guys are pretty much the only podcast that I consistently listen to, at least in this quarantine hellhole of 2020.
Correct.
And I want to give a special shout out for keeping me company with all these funny episodes and the way you guys provide such insight about the material and the historical conditions through the Twink lens, and with other influential and controversial figures too among the left. I love how open you both have been about that. And I wanted to give a specific shout out to Sam. Sam, thank you for having followed me back on Twitter around a year ago and for
Nice.
getting me hooked on the podcast. I appreciate all of your stories about transitioning from libertarianism to left libertarianism and then to Marxist Leninism. And I wanted to give another shout out to Gian.
Hell yeah.
Gian, I love how you've like made your unique like background and upbringing
Calling me weird.
into something truly revolutionary.
Oh, well, thank you, Kurt. That's very sweet of you. Kurt actually sent a slightly longer clip that was very sweet, but like in the interest of time, you know, this is our reel-to-reel tape machine is very expensive to run. You know, shit ain't free.
I love the phrase "the Twink lens." It's gonna be our when I write my dissertation about theory. It's gonna be Twinkism with socialist characteristics.
Very good.
Yeah, it's gonna be how we reclaim the tops as twink bottoms.
Beautiful.
Love it. We have a few more, don't we?
There's a few more. Yeah, I would just stop and reflect for one moment only. All the lovely people. I mean, it has been an honor and a privilege to meet so many of you, and allow me to be mushy for one moment. I would just say that like political podcasting is a slightly joyless enterprise most of the time. And I don't mean that to sound self-pitying, although it is. It's simply to put a political thought out into the world and attach your name to it, or God forbid, build a brand around it. You're just inviting just a kind of like a world of griefing from those who disagree, or those who kind of wish they had thought of the same fucking grift, or whatever the hell it is. And like, the thing that makes it all worthwhile is all the lovely friends and all the lovely listeners whom we adore. So
right,
this is very sweet.
Many points where it's like just seems completely joyless when you're getting bagged on by hundreds of people. It's like, oh, is this even worth it anymore?
Yeah, like, why do I do this? We don't make any money out of this shit.
At least I feel like our contempt for like podcasting at certain points was more around being trapped in a house for COVID versus I think for many it was just like the Bernie collapse.
Yeah, no, we moved on from that very quickly. Oh yeah, that's I guess another big world event that happened. Was back in what was it, April, start of April or something? I don't remember when the fuck that happened now.
I don't know.
It feels so irrelevant. I'm gonna search back. I'm gonna search for Bernie.
I think you'll notice after he like drops out, we don't really talk about him ever again, except for like maybe our last review episode.
Well, we talked to Jason Prado about his role in like his working on the Bernie campaign. That was probably the closest we ever did to a retro. We had an episode called "The Hot Girl Summer of Our Discontent." See, another underappreciated title. These titles are fire.
That might be my favorite title, actually. Yeah. It's just so good.
That was pretty good. And this was, the description is, this is an episode of discontent. Discontent about SF pride. Discontent about Bernie endorsing Biden. Discontent about Italy being in the EU. And discontent about gays being bitches to each other and causing depression and anxiety. We were reviewing that article, I think, that said that it was a thing that was causing problems or something. And so I guess it was I think it was when we had Tom Ballard on that Bernie had dropped out the week before or something. I think that's when we talked about that.
Yeah.
And like, where do we go from here? And I don't think we solved anything.
I think it's also funny that I think it was like in the Hot Topics appearance we did, they mentioned like, oh, you can notice who's like a Twink Rev listener, and it's like on Twitter. I was like, oh, well, that's kind of fun. Like, so it means that it's like they're like drop dead awful and just screaming about like the EU and how much
Stalin did nothing wrong, and also
like ketamine for all.
Yes, we have picked up a certain kind of listener, and most of them, like, I've got to say, like, there are our dear and loyal Twinks.
There are goodies.
Well, there are Twinks, but certainly we have a much broader audience of non-Twinks too.
Or they're spiritually Twink.
Well, that's what we've always said, and I remember people had a lot of misgivings about us when we first started. With a name like Twink Revolution, they're like, oh, I'm not a Twink. Like, am I allowed to like this? We're like, No. Twink is a state of mind. Because as I like to hasten to add all the time, I'm not a twink anymore. I outgrew it. I have gray hair.
And when I decide to go into a gym for the first time ever, I will also no longer be a twink. We will enter...
Sam is currently a twink. Like, there's no ifs or buts.
Yeah, but it's because I refuse to go into a gym.
Right. One of us has to uphold twink thought.
Yeah. I don't want to change my material reality to like just ruin the brand.
We have a few more of these. Let me play this one.
Hey Twink Rev, congrats on your 69th episode. You guys are the only good podcast.
Sure.
I love what you're doing, and keep it up.
No, thank you. We got one more. Here.
Hey guys, California's burning, but 69 is so fine. Happy 1 year anniversary.
California is still burning, I think, a little bit. Although the air is clear.
Yeah, it's good now.
Yeah. The air quality, great. I sat outside today.
Now I have to pay for cigarettes to destroy your lungs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, no. Should we plug the Patreon? We don't do that very often, but I feel like this is a self-indulgent episode.
If you love all the work at Twink Revolution, whether it's the articles we publish of our many beautiful writers, or you want to support the podcast, all of which costs money in this damn capitalist system, go to patreon.com/twinkrev, and you can help support all of our writers because we don't take any of the money.
Yeah, and what else how else do we milk money out of these little piggies? Because you don't milk a pig. If you go to twinkrev.com, there's a shop where you can get Twinkrev merch. You will have noticed maybe a few Twinkrev merch owners thoughting and thirst trapping on Twitter and Instagram now.
Yeah.
That's obviously probably one of the highlights.
The hottest of the gays are wearing Twinkrev merch.
Yeah, no, it's probably the highlight of this entire fucking enterprise for me has been the fact that people get the t-shirts and the hoodies and shit, and then post like thoughty videos and images of themselves wearing them.
That's how we win.
It's true. This is how you build a revolution,
or at least like combat the worst parts of the libs and the right. The libs are like completely like obsessed with like looks and no substance, and in the right it's just
a different kind of substance.
Yeah, it's kind of it's the same thing but also awful.
Yeah,
and
it's the coffee with no cream instead of coffee with no milk. It's no substance either way. Just the substance that is lacking is different either.
See, our followers are the ones who will have sex with you and then lay next to you and then talk about the many crimes that Stalin did not commit.
Yeah, exactly. You gently cradle a Twink Revolution listener in your arms post-coitally and have them tell you all about the sort of the CIA lies about the gulags.
Yeah, I think everyone's just waiting for like the OnlyFans to become an actual thing versus just a joke.
Yes, no, we do keep promising an OnlyFans one day.
Just do revolutionary cosplay and then like more naked.
Sure. So anyway, I highly recommend you get your Twinkrev merch and then post thirst traps wearing it.
Support our writers.
Yeah, no, there's all the money goes to funding a bunch of writers who usually don't many of whom have not published before anywhere else.
Yeah, do it because we can still pay them more than any other left-wing publication pays the writers.
Yeah, close to, I think.
Or at least most.
We're not matching American Affairs' rates
for not left-wing.
Well, I mean, I think we have one more recording which will play us out, but I just want to say it has been an incredible year. Thank you all for being with us.
Yes.
It is you that makes it special, and
I'm excited for another year.
Yeah, no, we're gonna kick off season 2. Changes are coming.
Yeah,
it won't be much different, honestly. I think we're gonna keep doing this. We're just gonna change it up a bit.
Yeah,
bit gayer, maybe
a little bit gayer.
Yeah, we kind of let the gayness get leached out of Twink Revolution somehow.
Yeah. Leave the serious shit to like the other podcasts.
Well, and to play us out, here's the last one.
If Twink Revolution has millions of fans, I am one of them. If Twink Revolution has one fan, I am that fan. If Twink Revolution has no fans, it means I'm no longer alive on this earth. If the world is against Twink Revolution, then I am against the world. From Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, I wish my fellow Twink comrades a happy first anniversary for their podcast.
And that's how you do it, motherfuckers. That's a real call in.
Call to action.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you all for listening.
Until next time, and the first episode of season 2. Thanks for listening.
Bye.